Hello everyone, Dean on the Street here in Port Jefferson, Long Island, New York, right down at the harbor. If you've never been here, it's really incredible to come down here. You've got restaurants, clubs, cigar bars, you've got it all. And someone that's been one of my biggest fans over the past year with my show asked me if I was available today to come down and meet him, and that's what I love so much about my show, is meeting all the new people that I've met over the past year, hundreds of people. So my featured guest today here down in Port Jefferson Harbor is Ray Kelly. Meet Ray, okay? Ray is, before you talk, obviously my kids and my wife say I talk too much, but I'm gonna let you talk in a minute, but I just want to introduce you. But Ray is, for about 30 years, 28 years, a retired Suffolk County detective, quite a career, and I'm looking forward to you guys meeting him. Ray Kelly.
I'll tell you, Dean, it was really great meeting you. I'm a big fan of Dean on the Street, and you have an interesting slew of guests, and I'm glad you had me on.
Well, after this, I want you to come about 15 minutes up the road and come in studio as well. Boy, it's beautiful here.
I'll tell you, Port Jefferson's a beautiful village.
Yeah, anyone that hasn't been out here, from whoever's listening in from around the world, you got to come down to Port Jefferson Harbor here. It's really a cool place.
Yeah.
You got the boats, you got the ferries that go out to Bridgeport, Connecticut, back to Port Jeff, some great restaurants and clubs, and just it's really nice out here. So this was a great place for us to meet, do our show, and listen. 28 or 30 years in the Suffolk County Police Department as a detective. How many years?
Yep, 28 years down here in Suffolk, 2 years up in Massachusetts, and
well, listen, you look great. You got a great tan. Obviously, being out here. What are you doing in retirement life? What are you doing these days?
well, I'll tell you, I'm a snowbird. I go down to Florida in November, come back in May, but I do a little fishing, kayaking, and I get involved with some of the political campaigns.
Okay. Well, listen, you've had quite a career. You gotta, being in narcotics, you gotta tell one or two classic stories in your career.
Well, I'll tell you, when I first went there back in 1978, I was there 3 days, and they had an investigation going on where they seized over 3 tons of marijuana. They were following a trawler that was offloaded onto a sailboat, and they arrested the people on the sailboat.
Wow.
And there were 40 to 50 pound bales of it. We had to search every bale to see if there was cocaine in the bale. And
So
that's how I got my feet wet.
How many tons?
Over 3 tons.
3 tons, and cocaine and...
No, it was marijuana. But there was
Marijuana.
a possibility there was cocaine in
Okay.
one of the bales.
I mean, 3 tons would fill up a couple of boats here, or a couple of this entire dock area.
It's funny how I have that picture. I still have that picture.
You're gonna send me that picture?
Yeah.
That's a classic, huh?
Yeah, it is.
I want to put it in this show. Okay. But incredible. Where was the location where this bust took place?
They seized it out in East Hampton.
You know, it's funny that it ends up having to be the Hamptons.
Yeah.
It's that's a hot spot.
Yeah.
So listen, let's get into you and I have a mutual friend that we believe should be the next district attorney of Suffolk County, Ray Perini. He's been on my show a couple of times. I've gotten to know Ray over the last couple of years. Great guy, but obviously I personally feel a man with experience, dignity, well qualified for the position. Very much, it's his turn. It really is. So obviously, you know Ray a lot longer than I. Why don't you get into a little bit more about this race, Ray Perini's, and election day is coming up on November 7th. So it's all yours. I'm talking too much.
Well, no. I met Ray when I went to Narcotics in 1978, and Ray was he started the Suffolk County Narcotics Bureau in the Suffolk County District Attorney's office. He ran that bureau for the 9 years that I was an undercover detective, and I have to say he is one of the most professional and personable attorneys, district attorneys, that I've ever worked with. And after he did that, he went on into private practice, where he ended up having a successful law practice. He has over 44 years experience as an attorney, and I can't say enough about Ray. He has the experience and he'll get the job done. Another thing about Ray is he's really not a politician. I mean, you got to be a politician to be running, but he's not a politician. He is pro-law enforcement, and he will lock up the drug dealers in Suffolk County. He'll battle the gangs, and there's no doubt he's the best man for the job.
Hey, listen. What can you? As we stay on this, Ray versus his opponent. Okay, you've known Ray a long time. You've been a Suffolk County detective for a very long time. Obviously retired now. Really, I look at the experience factor. Okay, the experience factor. Those people out there that are listening to this that don't know Ray and his opponent. Okay, stay focused. You know it better than I even do. Ray's been on my show. Stay on experience. What can you say to the audience on the experience factor, articulately, very clear, why Ray's experience is more suited and more qualified than his opponent?
Well, Ray, again, he ran the Suffolk County Narcotics Bureau. That is a very, very large bureau in the Suffolk County District Attorney's office. The drug problem right now, the opioid problem that Suffolk County is having, actually the nation is having, he has the experience there. He knows how to combat that problem. He'll put the drug dealers where they belong, and that's in jail.
Okay, so the two, Suffolk County alone, the two hot issues are the gang issue, gangs in Suffolk County, and obviously the opiate and the heroin epidemic that's so prevalent here. I mean, opiate and heroin prevalent all around the country, okay? But we know it's a hotbed here in Suffolk County, Long Island. I mean, those two issues have to be dealt with now. I mean, they're hot issues. Once again, Ray's experience, a wealth of, I mean, he's been there and done it.
He's done it, and he'll do it again. There's no doubt in my mind about it. Ray can get the job done. He has so many contacts with the federal law enforcement end of this and the Justice Department. And that's one of the key things. You have to work as a team. I worked on the Long Island Drug Enforcement Task Force for a while, and Ray was very instrumental in getting that back to Long Island when they had disbanded it.
You know what, I asked Ray on one of my shows, who's the big drug lord, #1 in the world, that they flew into just a few minutes from here, Islip, McArthur Airport. What was his name?
El Chapo?
El Chapo, okay. What'd you think of that? Why?
Well, it took him a long time to get him.
What'd you think of El Chapo coming to Long Island, being flown into Islip, McArthur Airport?
They couldn't put him in a Mexico jail. He breaks out of them. So I'm glad they brought him here, and he's incarcerated where he should be.
Hey, listen, I've done enough shows with Ray, so everybody knows where I stand. What are some final comments that you want to make about Election Day coming up on November 7th for a District Attorney of Suffolk County, Long Island, New York?
Well, if the voters want the best man for the job, you have to vote for Ray Perini. He has the experience, over 44 years of it. Experience matters, and he'll get the job done.
Listen, Ray Kelly, thanks for being on Dean on the Street. Thank you, everybody, for being with us here today. And from Port Jefferson, Long Island, New York, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.